There's a massive balance patch that went live here recently, and it pretty much destroyed many, many decks in Hearthstone. Quasar being the one that was probably the most destroyed. Reno also is nearly unplayable now, being 10 mana with that battle cry. Pretty pathetic. But one of the other cards that was also hit fairly hard was our good friend Lamplighter. If you remember, Lamplighter used to scale with every turn that you've played an elemental. So if by turn 7 you've played an elemental on every turn 7, Lamplighter would deal 7 damage, 8 turns, 8 damage, so on and so forth. We no longer care about subsequent elemental chaining. We just have a Lamplighter that deals 4 damage straight up if you played an elemental last turn. This, of course, hurts elementals pretty badly, and I believe Lamplighter no longer makes the cut. So what I've done is I have revised the list that I use to hit Legend this month, and likely will hit Legend next month with it. And I have buckled down and I crafted Saroon. I've been highly critical of this card in the past. If you're not familiar with Saroon, Saroon reads Battlecry, give all elementals in your deck fire spell damage +1. It's a 6 mana 7/6, so it is a fairly big boy, comes down in the mid game. I initially did not like Saroon because Lamplighter honestly felt like enough damage, but now with us missing that reach, I think that Saroon is a necessary craft. So sorry, all of my budget gamers. I think Saroon is a necessary for Elemental Mage. The other card that I am slotting in place of the second Lamplighter would be Molten Rune, and this is because we are now running Saroon. So Saroon giving all of our stuff +1 fire spell damage, and then a Forged Molten Rune represents massive damage that does a Lamplighter impression. If you are a stubborn budget gamer and you do not want to craft Saroon, the only thing I can recommend is maybe 2 fireballs in the place of Saroon and Molten Rune, but I think it is a necessary craft. So let's see how well we can do with new Elemental Mage in the new meta. And if you like Hearthstone gameplay videos like this one, please consider subscribing. Let's get into some games.
Jaina versus Jaina.
A fellow mage. Wonder what they're up to. I've played around 10 games with this deck. I think I've lost like 1 or 2. This deck's been performing very well. Haven't ran into a fellow Elemental Mage. But the Elemental Mage that overflows Surgers first typically wins. But I also kind of want to keep Solar Flare because of Overflow Surger on their side. I'll throw it away. Not sure if they are Elemental Mage, so don't want to play into it too much. Perfect. Let's see how we fare in the mirror. Flame Revenant. It actually wouldn't be crazy if they use Spontaneous Combustion on my Elemental, because it's less important now to Elemental Chain. Love seeing Solar Flare. That means I can answer their Overflow Surger if they find one. Not a big fan of floating mana, especially in these like tempo aggressive matches. The next turn's looking pretty solid. Shale Spider, Spontaneous Combustion if they play a Flame Revenant of their own. I could see them want to do Flame Revenant because it's such a good play following into Overflow Surger. Cretion. Solid refill. So this is always happening. Shale Spider. Saroon. It's pretty solid. I think I just want to Molten Rune, And I'm actually going to fight for board a little bit. Take a little bit of a weird value trade, but I think that will pan out pretty well. They have 10 cards to my 6. They have Elemental Mage a lot harder than I have. They are playing the Triple Wick. I imagine this is standing in for their Lamplighter. I will take that trade. And I think they likely have a solar flare of their own. But I think I just kind of have to have them, kind of have to make them have it. So I'll run it out there. And I'm going to keep my solar flare just in case they have a magma rate or a overflow surge of their own. Very nice. Pretty abysmal spread for them. So I will take this opportunity to establish a Saroon. And let's get this 7-3 out of here. Perfect. I'm loving having Sleet Skater in these aggressive mirror matches. Feeling a lot safer with being at 22. So hopefully I find a cheap elemental on top. Yeah. I mean, that's why we play the deck, right? It's pretty messed up. I think I would rather... This is forged. Do I just have lethal? I might just have lethal. Because I did forge this. Pretty nasty. Thank you, Saroon. Very nasty. Doing my own little Lamplighter impression there.
Jaina versus Rexxar.
Hunter has usually been Starship Hunter, since starships no longer need to fear Reno wiping them out. So these are all looking like mid-game card, and then these are late-game card once we have some Saroon spell damage or need a board wipe. So I'm just going to throw everything back and look for some cheap elementals. Looks like my opponent is also doing a full mulligan. Appreciate you, opponent. Perfect. So ideally we'd have a 1-drop that we want to play. Gonna save Flame Geyser for maybe a Miracle Salesman. They usually don't play Miracle Salesman, but you got to play around it. Let's go for just max pressure, I'm thinking. Or we can just go Flame Revenant and then Aqua Archivist into Blazing Accretion. Yeah, I like that. They typically struggle to answer a 2-3, the spaceship deck. Starship deck, rather. So that is perfect. I think with this pickup, I actually just want to develop 3 elementals to get my buffs from Flame Revenant, and then 2 upstairs. So elementals can still do these busted openers. So I'm feeling pretty good with where we're at. So let's swing 3 up there just in case this guy kills my 3-2. Played around it perfectly. And then let's get out a Blazing Accretion. Another good pickup. So let's just... I think I want to, of course, do 7 to the face. I actually think I want to trade in there. Perfect. So that way, in case they have the 2 damage or 2 mana spell that deals 3 to 3 things, I at least got a little bit of a value trade in with my 2/3. And if they do not have that card, I'm liking our chances a lot. So 5, this could be like star power. Yep. Sounds good. And they may have hit Lamplighter in the recent nerfs, but they did not hit Overflow Surger. And I've kind of always said Overflow Surger might be the bigger problem than Lamplighter because, like, look at this recovery. I just got board wiped with Star Power, and how I respond is with another full board of 3/2s. So I do think Elemental Mage is no longer tier 1 like it was, but I think people saying it is not a deck anymore because of Lamplighter being gone are kind of wrong. I think this kind of card is still very messed up. Yep. And I kind of want to save my next Overflow Surger just in case they can clear again. And I don't think I'm going to have a difficult time developing. Because we still have our boy Shale Spider. Flame Geyser will go upstairs. Rolling Stone will not get rush value, but that's a-okay. Because we still have some Molten Flow going on with our Overflow Surger. So letting Elemental Mage get ahead is, of course, never a good move, but this Starship mechanic I still think is quite slow, and it still kind of lags behind decks like this that are very aggressive. So Pirate Demon Hunter, I know it's not very common, but that is still a very strong deck into Starships. Um, I think the Priest deck is probably gone at this point. Funnel Cakes being hit from 1 to 2 mana is, I think, a little too extreme for that deck to recover from. Cool. Turn 6 lethal. Still running people over with good old elementals.
Jaina versus Sageras.
Haven't seen a warlock yet. Is this the wheel warlock? Hand warlock as well. Seems like a pretty tough matchup, especially if they get a huge taunt in the way, as they do. I feel like I've had these cards in my opening hand a lot. These are later game cards. Aqua Archivist, of course. Always keep that one. It allows us for our most busted openers, usually with this guy being partner in crime. So we have our damage combo here, our early damage combo, and then we have our refill with the Blaze Man. Is that a Demonic Studies? Nice. Very nice. I'm not sure if that's like stock in Wheel Warlock, but I've not seen Demonic Studies in a long time. Is this just Demon Warlock? I mean, I love what my opponent's doing. Elementals versus Demons. We're having a tribe off. Yeah. It'll deal 2. Had me worried there for a second. If that did not deal 2 to that, I would have been livid. I would have been seething even. But luckily I didn't need to make a scene in front of you guys. Getting a drank on. You gotta get a drank on sometimes. Cretion, play the one that just entered my hand, just in case they're tracking my hand, they can say I got lucky. Yep. Keep the pressure going. Smack him in the head. Is there anything in the game that just deals 1 to everything? I don't think so. Okay. Are we just like showing the Warlock the elemental experience? If they didn't have a board clear last turn, I kind of feel safe just establishing all the pressure. But at the same time, part of me just wants to like draw all the cards. So let's draw all the cards. Yeah. Very similar. Either way, they do need to answer this. And this way I was playing into Revenant Overflow Surger, which is super strong. Oh, that guy's huge. Dang. It's pretty messed up. I think... So do I have enough damage on board just to answer that? I may just like cut my losses and just give them their full health back. But I could also... So the difference between hitting it once and hitting it 3 times is almost nothing. It's 27 versus 30. I would rather... Because I can recover from this fairly well with Surger. I also want to sneak in a Spider. Ooh, so Rune's a perfect card for next turn. Especially with me still having a Magma Rager, or an Overflow Surger, still in the deck.
They'll solve a murder mystery.
Sketch Artist. Very cool. It's just now occurring to me that this is a demon. I'm feeling pretty good just to Molten Flow, fight for board a little bit, and then we will establish our Saroon. And let's throw out a Firefly for good measure. Now, if next turn we can draw a Overflow Surger, we're feeling pretty good because we have like the Wombo combo in hand. I think I've seen this guy before. I think I recognize him. Yeah. That's cool. I have not seen Sacrificial Imp. Wow, that's really cool. Anyway, so I think this turn
What to do? What to do?
we definitely want to throw out the Rusher while it gets +1/+1 from our previous 1-drop. And I think, Saroon, you've done your thing. Throw him in the dumpster. Rush into this fella. And I think I will establish Revenant and just a nice draw 3. And next turn we have Overflow Surger. We're going to burn a card, but you know, not the end of the world. Symphony of Sins. My opponent is on the mill plan. Let's see how it pans out. Another Soul Freeze. I'm almost out of cards. Forge this so I can get +2 fire spell damage, which will deal 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I think I'm just better off not doing that. I don't think I have lethal here. Yeah, that doesn't do it either, because that's the same amount of damage as a Molten Rune. So I think I will just have my opponent have it and just freeze their dude. There we go. Establish lethal, and if they clear my board with a Sargeras, we have lethal with a good old Overflow Surger. Help drink. Yep. Very cool. Very, very cool. I will admit my opponent is doing something much cooler than me. Demon Tribal is definitely much cooler than Elemental Tribal. Anyway, let's kill him. Let's just do the combo. Very nice. Tons of damage left over. Yeah. Very good.
Jaina versus Valera.
Ooh, Rogue.
I never turn down a good
So this
brawl.
is either
You asked for it.
Sonya Rogue with all those combo cards, or it is the new Starship Rogue with its many new buffs. Either way, I think Overflow Surger is the best card in the deck, so I'm going to keep it. And Firefly is our best 1-drop. So I'm going to keep those. Aqua Archivist is competing with Overflow Surger for being the best card in the deck. So I love seeing both of them side by side. Partners in crime. So let's see what flavor of Rogue we're up against. It's looking like Sonya. They may have hit Quasar, but Sonya Rogue can still do some messed up stuff. So I'm thinking next turn is probably just an Aqua Archivist. And then maybe turn 3 a small Overflow Surger. And we will pass the turn. Love seeing all this burn in my hand. Will give me a little extra reach.
As a gracious host,
Of course. The Shafar Rogue. The classic Shafar Rogue. So I think for this turn, we will take away their ability to bounce him, because that's when that deck can get real crazy, when they can double up on Shafar Spellburst. And we'll just go for an okay 9-power Surger. A very honest Surger, if you ask me. So they're looking for Heat Wave, I suspect. Hopefully this pause and just not snapping it off, it means I'm doing good. Misfire is also very strong. Very solid follow-up. And of course, just like an absolute beast, we rip the Shell Spider. 2-drop, 2-drop. We'll take it. End the turn. So they have slowed us down considerably with that misfire. Stick up in the Shafar deck is pretty interesting. I've not seen that so far. Scrap heap. Okay. So if I can... Okay, they do have a shadow step. I was going to say, if I can clear that, I'm doing pretty good. But we did not clear it. But they did miss out on a little bit of value there. The top of my deck, I'll be honest, has been kind of insane. So I'm just going to keep playing off the top of my deck. Amazing spread by the Remnant. So if Remnant can hit my opponent's face, I'm feeling pretty good. I've been on the record saying if Remnant hits your opponent, you'll likely win. So let's see if Remnant can touch up my opponent. Oh, there. Shafar did land on their shadow stepped guy. Dubious purchase, very strong. Might be looking at a Sleet Skater turn. Perfect. So we have not drawn much of our card draw outside of that Shale Spider. So let's lock down their board a little bit. Gain 12 armor in the process. Not all of these decks ran Sleet Skater, but I just think it's such a solid card. Looks like they keep winning the flip on their spell burst not land on their robots. Very nice. It's looking like my opponent's gonna run away with this game a little bit. But we still have a chance. Start with that. Gladiator. Ooh, into Accretion. Accretion might be able to get us out of this. Maybe. Yeah, let's see what Accretion could do for us. Overflow Surger. Okay, okay. Oh. Huge. Yep, that'll do it. Might be the strongest Prince Shafar draw I've ever seen, but nice. I have not thought about Prince Shafar in a while, but it might be decently positioned now that the meta has slowed down a little bit more. Good game.